Welcome to another film vlog. So this is the second one I'm making about film. So the first one is all about why I love film photography. And for this one, I want to be honest that there are also things I don't love so much about this hobby of mine. Actually, I was planning on creating a video on double exposure, like how I mix up the aperture and shutter speed, and how you can frame the subject or the layered photo. But I just got my roles developed and they did not turn out the way I was hoping it would. That's why instead of a double exposure video, I'm sharing some of the things that you need to consider also when doing film photography. The first one is, of course, not all shots will turn out the way you expect it to. So I shared in the previous video that's also something I love about film photography. You're not sure how it's gonna turn out, but then that's also there's a negative side to it. So I've encountered a lot of shots where it's completely underexposed or there's a light leak, and sometimes you might even get a whole roll exposed and it will turn out blank. So that's really a heartbreaking encounter for any film photographer. And one roll of mine, actually I sent a batch of 5 to a lab, and one roll turned out blank, and I don't even remember what photos I took for that roll. So yeah, so that's just really a part of the process that sometimes, a shot you framed so nicely won't turn out the way you expect it to. Another thing I don't love so much about film photography is how expensive it's gotten. Like, I used to get rolls for 500 Philippine pesos, and now most of them are priced at 1,000 pesos per roll. Some film labs even raised their prices already when it comes to developing and scanning films. And as for me, our house is there are little to no film labs nearby, so I have to ship my rolls to the lab, and that's also an extra expense. So those are the things you need to consider when you're getting into film photography. It can be quite pricey. Actually, another thing, there are, since it's like a vintage thing already, not a lot of people can repair film cameras. And one of my cameras actually had an issue recently. The lever got stuck and I couldn't figure out how to fix it myself, and I didn't want to completely destroy it, so I had to consult with a camera repair shop in Quiapo. So I had to travel there, and I had to also contact them in advance so that they can accommodate me. And it took about 2 to 3 weeks for them to get back to me to tell me that they have fixed my camera. And again, it's an expensive repair cost, since not a lot of the parts are readily available. And yeah, the repair cost actually starts at 2,500 Philippine pesos. So again, it's not it's a you need to save up, or if you're going to get into film photography, you need to be shelling out a lot of money for it. It can also test your patience, or it can be frustrating at times because you'll see your peers using digital cameras, and it could feel discouraging that you have to wait you have to wait a while to see the shots you took. And yeah, it can test and develop your patience. So I guess it's really up to you as the photographer to have the mindset that there are things about this craft that will really take time. Even your skill, even the way you frame things, the way you get the angles of a shot, it also develops. Again, there are two sides to it, so it can be a good side and it can be a bad side. But since we're highlighting the bad sides of film photography in this video, that's something you should also take note of, that can be a frustrating journey as you get into it. And there will be times also for me that I wouldn't even want to use it, like because it's heavy. That's another thing. Film cameras can be heavy and bulky, so like whenever I go to the city and visit friends there are times when I want to bring it, but then I choose not to because it's heavy and it's bulky. So that's another thing. And overall, these are the things that I don't love so much about film photography. Yet I am still here practicing taking photos and experimenting, hoping that as I enjoy this hobby, I know that it's also developing my character as an artist, as a human being, and even the way I see things in general. So I still very much recommend getting into it, and I know for sure you'll also figure out yourself what you love and what you don't love about it. Thanks for watching.